Hey everyone, this is Josh from before. If you hear my coffee maker running in the background, it's because I just jumped out of bed to record this video because our good friend, Voice of Reason, has done it again. He's come through with our first look at the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Suicide Squad wave with the King Shark Build-A-Figure. And I just wanted to take a look at these guys. First thing with this image is it's a nice little sort of inspiration for toy photographers. They put this little base here, and then I think that background is just a laptop screen. You can kind of tell it's a little washed out. It's a creative little technique. And they threw these guys on the ground. I think these are just McFarlane Call of Duty figures. I think that's Price from Call of Duty. Not sure, but I'm pretty certain. Let's just start looking at these guys. First thing, just the biggest thing I see at a glance is, and take a real close look here, it's almost impossible to see any of those ugly wrist and ankle ball joints, and we might be wearing them down. We might be wearing McFarlane down with our constant complaints about these. Like, look at the feet there on Polka Dot Man. There might be one in there on Peacemaker's foot. It's kind of hard to see, and we can't see Harley's feet. Her wrists, there might be a ball joint here. They might have gone an ugly route. There's a little gap, and you can kind of see. It's just gonna have to wait till we see better images of those, I guess. But just, I mean, that right there, Polka Dot Man's feet really are promising to me that they're finally starting to maybe distance themselves and get those that tooling better on the feet, so that there's not just a gap with a ball joint. Hopefully the same is true on these wrists as well. I gotta say, just in general, when McFarlane does these figures that are based on live action or video games, and they aim for a more photorealistic sculpting style, it's not my favorite thing in the world. I think they are at their best when they are adapting some sort of source material and they allow themselves to take some liberties and have some fun and just do what's best for the toy and not be slavishly devoted to this idea of realism. I think realism is overrated in toys. But and the other part of that is just the sculpts, but then also their modern paint apps. They just don't stand up to the sort of the fidelity of the sculpts. Like the paint apps aren't realistic enough to sell those sculpts. So that's just kind of where I stand in general. But I'm still really stoked about this. I'm really stoked about Suicide Squad. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, James Gunn being involved is probably going to mean this will be the best DCEU movie by far. And I'm saying that as somebody who, like, loved Birds of Prey and doesn't really care much for Zack Snyder. So, you know, take my opinion with a grain of salt. You know, you don't have to share it. That's just my opinion. So anyway, let's go down the line here. Peacemaker. Face sculpt doesn't look too bad, although the way his mask is hitting on these eyes in this image just makes it look a little wonky. It appears as if they've done his torso here similar to the Last Night on Earth Batman. That looks like it's going to be that sort of soft torso with a lower diaphragm cut, just closer to the waist, and then hopefully all of the soft that soft torso will allow for some good flexibility. I love the way they did that Last Night on Earth Batman. I thought that was really creative and it worked really well. I don't see, you know, you can't see any holsters here, and obviously he's got a sword for some reason in this. That might just be whatever that new rule is about them using guns in promotional images. I can't imagine they're going to put a Peacemaker toy out without a gun of any kind. That would just be kind of crazy. You know, they just did that second Flashpoint Batman and that John Stewart Green Lantern. They both came with guns as accessories, so hopefully they're not making that extreme of a hard and fast rule that they just can't have any guns with anybody, because that would be really disappointing to not have a Peacemaker figure with a gun. And the same goes for his buddy Bloodsport right here. I can't tell what he's holding. I don't know if that's a sword or I can't tell. But again, hopefully he's going to have his weird gun things in the final version of the toy. This outfit looks really cool. James Gunn and his costume designers, they always just do the raddest stuff with costumings that just, like, they don't look like any other characters from any other movie. Even the characters right next to each other, there's a huge variety of different sort of materials and concepts. You know, obviously he's a real tactical sort of guy. And then based on the solicitation leaks, there's going to be an alternate Bloodsport and Peacemaker without masks. So it'll be nice to see that Idris Elba sculpt and this John Cena sculpt as well. Moving on to Harley, this has got to be the biggest surprise in my opinion. I think anybody would have guessed that we were going to be seeing her in her more like tactical gear. And they've gone with this look with this dress and the combat boots. Wish we could see those boots better. That's a huge surprise to me, and I'm kind of into it. I like it. It just, I still would like to see that tactical outfit at some point in the future. Hopefully they're able to release that as well down the line. But this look is really unexpected and just kind of rad in my opinion. You know, I always say it. I love when they just make every single character look as different as possible to the one before and after it. I just like the toys on my shelf to just have as much variety as they possibly can. So that's definitely hitting the mark with this Harley. Not totally sure about that face sculpt. I'd really like to see some more pictures of that face sculpt. Also, not sure how they're going to be doing this. Like, she doesn't have a diaphragm cut. The waist is hidden behind this dress, so it'll be interesting to see how they do the articulation on that. And then my main man over here, Polka Dot Man, looking pretty cool. You can see he's got these sort of, this is probably a soft material. He's got these clip-on polka dots that are shooting out of his gauntlets on his arm. Really digging these hand sculpts. You know, he doesn't have just a gun hand for no reason. He has hands that make sense for his character. Again, it looks like they're doing his torso the way they did last night on Earth. Batman, you know, you could see that cut's kind of sitting low. I think that's probably a soft torso. And again, I love the way they engineered that. It was just really satisfying and really worked for the design of the character. So I'm really stoked about that Polka Dot Man. And then our Build-A-Figure is King Shark, which is kind of hard to see here. Obviously, he's about a head taller than everybody. Actually, he might be more because he's tucked behind them. He might be a little bit taller than that even. This is going to be something that we just have to see it in hand to see how that head really works. Does his mouth, it looks like his mouth closes. I mean, you see that gap under there, that shadow? That makes me think his mouth closes, which would be a nice feature. Hard to tell how he's going to be broken up as a Build-A-Figure, like where the legs going to, do they come out of those shorts or what? Again, another thing based on the leaks that we've seen is that we're expecting this King Shark Build-A-Figure to get a solo release as a gold label. So if for some reason you're not trying to collect this whole wave, but you really want that King Shark, just hold out. And by hold out, I'm not sure how long that's going to take. I'm expecting this line to hit stores probably around August or so, but that's not concrete yet at this point. So that's the Suicide Squad wave. Really stoked about this, despite, like I said, not being totally crazy about their how they do live action characters. This does look a little bit closer to that happy medium between hitting the look of what those real people and their outfits look like, and maybe taking a little bit of stylistic liberty and not trying to be slavish to the photorealistic look, which, again, in my opinion, that's the way to do it. But what do you guys think? Is this what you expected? That Harley's a big surprise. Are you stoked about this at all? Are you stoked about the movie? What do you think? I think James Gunn is kind of a genius, so maybe I'm a little biased, but you tell me what you think. I always like hearing what you guys have to say, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.